Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and we are back out in my hot garage. I know I was in Kansas yesterday, but I drove all the way back to Texas today. I'm a little bit tired. I was planning on going to the range tonight to review and film footage with a couple of pistols that I need to take to the range and shoot, but I think I'm going to stay home tonight because I'm having a flare-up of my rheumatoid arthritis. I know, I'm only 45 years old and I have early onset rheumatoid arthritis. And most of the time it's under control. I don't really have it all that bad, but once in a while I get some really bad flare-ups. And I had one today. So my shoulder is hurting. I have like a limited range of motion. Both of my hands and my right wrist are hurting, and even my jaw. So I think I should just stay home tonight. But I feel up enough to come out here to the garage and answer a viewer question. And I got this question from a subscriber on my last question and answer video. Oh, by the way, I'm also making this because I know a lot of you are probably tired of the SIG P320 talk, and I wanted to give you a break and just get back to talking about guns, right? That's what all this is about, having fun, talking about guns. And the question I was asked was, and I'm going to paraphrase this, you have reviewed a lot of guns, some new, some old, rare, common, expensive, and cheap. What are the top 5 guns that you have never reviewed or shot that you would like to film a range report on? And I thought that was a great question. And it got me really thinking, because I have been very blessed. And I know that I am nowhere near the most popular gun tuber out there, but I think I have shot and reviewed more guns than just about anybody else. I know that sounds like a very arrogant statement, but if you go to my main channel and then go to the playlist of my range reports, you're going to see that it's like 600 or 700 guns. It's crazy. And there's so many reviews that I've already filmed that are in the can, uploaded, ready for review, that I have scheduled releases until September of 2026 as of right now. I know, that's how far ahead I am. So I have shot and reviewed a lot of guns. And I was thinking, man, that's a hard list to come up with. So I wanted to divide the list into 2 categories. So I'm going to give you 10 guns. But we're going to start off with the first 5. And it's going to be my top 5 handguns that I have not shot and reviewed. And I'm going to save the top 5 rifles for another time. So let's go down this list. And like the guns that I have reviewed, I like to think this is kind of an eclectic list. I have some things that are currently produced, some things that have been out of production for a while, some things that are rare and maybe some people would call a holy grail gun, and some are very common. Some are expensive and some are really cheap. So here's my list. The first one is a high point pistol. I know some of you guys are probably laughing because they're almost jokes in the gun community, but there's a lot of people out there that absolutely love them, and they say they're built like tanks. I've never actually shot one, and I think they're probably the cheapest decent pistol out there. I just want to shoot one and see what it's like. I know it's direct blowback or straight blowback. They're big chunks of metal. But I want to review a high point. I know, that's it. I know some people think I'm a gun snob, but a high point would be really cool content. All right, the next one is a firearm that I have been interested in, and I have played around with the idea of acquiring one for my personal collection. But I'm always stopped by the price and my perceived quality of it. And that is the new FN High Power. No, it's not the High Power HI power like the old Browning High Powers. It's the reimagined one that they spell HIGH. It functions a little bit different than the originals. I think it looks really cool. It has that the old FN High Power kind of heritage, but it's different. And being somebody that loves the Browning High Power, it fascinates me. But every time I have picked up one of these pistols, and I cannot quantify it, I can't say specifically what about it bothers me, they've always felt a little cheap to me. Maybe it's the grips, maybe it's the frame, maybe it's the sound of it when you rack the slide. It's an expensive pistol for, I think, what it is. But it might be underrated. I don't know. And I really want to find out. So I would love to shoot one of those. I've only held a few since they ever came out. I know they don't make a lot of them, but being somebody that loves old guns and guns with military heritage, I'm interested in it because it's a modernization, a modern rethinking of it. And it could be a diamond in the rough, meaning like it is a pistol that shoots great and is just completely underrated. I just want to find out. So the FN High Power, and that's a pistol that's currently in production. All right, the next one is a rare one, maybe not too rare, and it's not considered to be that great of a pistol, but it's very historical. The HK VP70, the very first polymer pistol ever, the one that started it all. It looks like something out of a sci-fi movie. They say the trigger is terrible. They say it's not accurate. But as a geeky gun collector, this is the pistol that I think started it all for like the modern polymer world. Everyone loves HK. It's a cool company, but this is supposed to be kind of a dud. So I don't know. I like to document my experiences with cool and rare guns, and I also like to talk about their history. So a video with the VP70 would be really, really neat. The last two handguns on this list are not pistols, they're revolvers. And my revolver reviews don't always get a lot of traction, and I fully admit that I am a semi-auto guy, but I do love and appreciate revolvers. The first one is a Korth. Any Korth. I don't care caliber or barrel length or options. These seem to be the pinnacle of revolvers, modern revolvers. And I want to know if the law of diminishing returns that I do believe exists in the world of 2011s also exists with revolvers. I've shot some high-end revolvers. There's some I really like, but I want to know, does a Korth revolver really shoot as good and equates to its high price point? And if I could choose, it would be a Korth and 357 Magnum with a 3 or 4 inch barrel. I think that would be like the sweet spot for that. I've only held Korths, never shot them, and I want to find out how awesome they are, or if they're a dud. And the last one is a holy grail gun for me. And by holy grail, it's a gun that is probably unobtainium. It's going to be very expensive, very rare. I've never seen one in person. Videos on them are few and far between. And it fascinates me. And there is my dog. Every time I am making a video, my dog always has to be out there barking. You're going to have to put up with her. I'm not going to end this video in the middle and go out and tell her to shut up. All right, so the revolver that I'm talking about is the Medusa Model 47, or the M47 by Phillips and Rogers. And I had to write this down because I couldn't remember the exact number of calibers, but it's 25. This revolver can shoot 25 different calibers. 9mm, 380, 38 ACP, 357 Magnum, 38 Special, and you just go down the list. It's a really cool revolver. I think it's based off of a Smith & Wesson K-frame, and the cylinder is made in a very unique way, so you can use rimless, rimmed, and semi-rimmed cartridges. I don't know how they do it. It's really cool. I've only seen videos on it. It's a holy grail gun. I know they're expensive. I know they're like hen's teeth. They're like super rare. I think it would be so cool. And even if I couldn't shoot it, it'd be so cool to do a from the vault video where I show off a cool and interesting gun and talk about its history. So that is the 5 handguns I have never shot but would love to review. So there you go. I hope that answered the question. And I will try to come up with my top 5 rifles as well for a future video. So that's all I wanted to say. So now we've reached a point in the video that I think only the true vault dwellers would reach. I did not mention the surprise in the title of this video or in the description, because I know a lot of you are tired of talking about SIG P320s. Okay, so I wanted to save this to the end. Sorry, we're going to talk about the SIG P320, by the way, so you can click away if you like. But I wanted to address some comments I was getting in my videos where I talk about trying to duplicate the issues the Wyoming Gun Project was having with his SIG P320s, where he was putting in the wood screw. And as you guys know, I was out here in my garage. I was pulling the trigger, trying to shake the gun, shimmy it this way and that to see if the striker would fall, and I was unable to do it. Or maybe in my first test I was able to do it, but it wasn't consistent enough. And so people were saying in the comment section that the test was invalid. And I mentioned to them that in the kind of the prelude to each one of those videos, I said this is not a scientific test, and I'm not trying to prove or disprove anything. We're just having a conversation to see what happens. That's it. And I think people miss the point of those videos, because I don't test the guns the same way that the Wyoming Gun Project did. And it was that way on purpose. Because it reminds me of Thomas Edison, and I'm going to have to paraphrase this story, and it might be apocryphal, but when it came to his invention of the light bulb. And the story is he tried 1,000 or 10,000 different materials before he figured out to use a small tungsten wire in a vacuum tube, essentially. And a reporter or somebody had asked them, did he ever get discouraged when he failed 10,000 times, or whatever the number was, 1,000, 10,000, whatever. And Thomas Edison replied, I didn't fail 10,000 times. I found 10,000 ways that didn't work. Meaning, through his testing, when he discovered that whatever filament he was trying to use didn't work, he was able to eliminate that as a possible solution to the problem. So while people were saying that my tests were invalid because I was not exactly duplicating what Matt at the Wyoming Gun Project was doing, that my tests were invalid. Once again, they weren't supposed to be scientific and they weren't definitive. And yes, I was using my finger, but I was trying to test the theory and the concept of what he was talking about. And I discovered I couldn't get any of my P320s to have a negligent or uncommanded discharge. So were the tests invalid? I don't think so. I discovered a way that doesn't work, and that adds to our repertoire of data and tests that we can perform. So while I wasn't able to make anything spectacular happen, it puts more information into the hands of other people. So while I couldn't get any of my 4 that I tested P320s to have that issue, I discovered 3 P20s in a way that doesn't work to get that issue to happen. Does that make any sense? I had to address that because it was bothering me, because sometimes I think people are very short-sighted and they don't understand that when you create a hypothesis and you test that hypothesis, and then you discover that what you thought was going to happen didn't happen, is actually still good information, because you discovered what you thought was going to happen wasn't, and then you can reformulate things. Yeah, it's the scientific method, and sometimes I shake my head at people when, if it doesn't go one way based off of a hypothesis, it's invalid and wrong. No, you discovered more information to add to the greater whole. So anyway, I had to add that to the end of the video because I know only the true vault dwellers would make it this far. Because if I don't put P320 in the title or in the description, all those people aren't going to watch this. So I really only wanted to talk to my biggest fans. And man, my hands hurt. This sucks. Rheumatoid arthritis sucks, I'm telling you. I don't have any swelling, but man, it feels like a sports injury, if that makes any sense. Like you're playing basketball and like hyperextended your joints. It just sucks. So I'm a little bit fatigued, a little bit tired, and I'm just mainly tired of hurting. But it can go away tomorrow. That's the way it is. So yes, I did take my medicine, in case people were wondering. So anyway, that's it. My top 5 handguns that I would love to get to review. And a little surprise for the people that are interested in the P320 debate or debacle. So if you made it this far in the video, let's do our word of the day. The word of the day is going to be surprise. Surprise is the word of the day because I had that little tag at the end, which was a surprise to all of you, because I know you weren't expecting it. So let me know if you have any questions or comments about my list of handguns or my thoughts on the data that I was able to provide with my P320 tests. So thank you again for joining me here in the garage. And as always, thanks for watching.